weet je. En nog steeds had ik geen chic. Nog steeds dacht ik van nee, ik moet met latifa spreken. Dit moet met latifa, want misschien dat latifa zelf...
Waarom ben je niet naar elkaar onder aandacht gelijk gegaan dan?
Ik ben naar haar gegaan, maar ik wist die huis niet.
And again, to go back, she say, well, I would never do that if I have questions, because I knew something that's in my stomach about someone. I can feel something, you know. I said, but it's a lie, because in April 2017, I even had a fight with her. I even never really spoke with her by the phone. She never really had, it was not really a friendship like friends. I know what a friendship, if you send WhatsApp, how are you, what are you doing, you know, real friends. But it was not like that, believe me. I know what I'm saying, believe me. You know, everyone wants to have friends, believe me, and I really tried it. And there's something wrong, 100,000%. Then she again backtalizing by saying why I did not went to Umrah, to this Somali woman. She's really in her stomach that I went to the mosque, because she don't want anyone to know anything about her, about this secret, you know.
Ik had bij de buren aangebeld, omdat ik niet in de politie in huis is. Dus ik kon haar toen niet spreken. En toen ben ik daarna, na die moskee, dezelfde dag dat ik naar de moskee was gegaan, of de dag daarna, ben ik naar Hamer gegaan. En toen heb ik gevraagd, er was een mannetje gekomen met de auto. En toen vroeg ik, weet je wat de imam woont? Toen had hij gezegd, hier. Toen zag ik 39, dat het dus eigenlijk, dat ik bij de buren de dag ervoor had gebeld. Dus toen deden ze voor mij open. En toen hadden ze de huis van Hamer aangebeld. Toen ben ik naar haar gegaan. Snap je? Maar ik ben wel eerst naar jouw moeder gegaan. Ik ben wel eerst naar haar gegaan. Maar ik wist niet zeker. Zij hebben mij de huis aangewezen. En ik heb jou eerst gezocht. Het eerste wat ik deed in Nederland is, ik ben meteen naar jou gekomen. Ze hebben me zelfs een boete gegeven, de politie, dat ik daar stond. Want de bewoners hebben iemand gebeld en ze zeggen dat ik daar stond te wachten. Ik zeg, ik sta op een vriendin te wachten. Latifa. Ja, wie is...
Dat is niemand daar. Waarom?
Nee, de politie is gekomen. Kijk, ik dacht dat jij daar woont, dus ik was daar aan het wachten. En toen zeiden ze van, gingen ze mij vragen stellen waarom ik daar. Toen zei ik, een vriendin van mij, Latifa, dat jij daarvoor woonde en dat ik jouw nummer niet meer had. Toen zei ze, waarom bel je haar niet? Ik zeg, je hebt haar nummer niet. En
I told her, I'm explaining to her the situation that I told you before, because she said, why you did not went to the Somali one, why did you not, she's just repeating it, you know, because she really don't like that I went to the mosque. And I told her that I want to look for her, and then about the story about the police that I had before, and then she say, did they call, you know? So she's really hiding,
Dus dat is wat.
Heb je 3 keer lopen schreeuwen dan? Of?
Nee, niet lopen schreeuwen, maar zij vonden het gewoon verdacht. Want ik heb bij de verkeerde mensen aangebeld. Ze zei, hoe ben je binnengekomen?
The whole thing is that she don't like that people now know about it. She just want me to go to the mosque quietly while no one is seeing me, saying, hi, did you see Latifa? And then they tell me, no, she did not came here for 3 years. Why are you looking for her? Oh, no, nothing. And then act heel normal and then leave. How can you find someone on this way? Please tell me. If she has nothing to do with it, then it's not a problem, you know. But she's blowing it up because, of course, she don't want it to continue. She wants to close this subject.
Het enige wat ik wist is dat hij gescheiden was en dat hij vrouw zocht. En dat was het.
Nee, hij zei ook tegen mij dat hij wat er aan de hand was. Er was iets met de verbinding. Wat er aan de hand was. Voorgesteld, zeg maar. Toen later, toen ik dus ontdekt had wat ik nu weet, zeg maar, toen begon ik ook te denken van, is dit toeval of is het dus toeval? Want hij begon ook over een kasteel te praten. Want toen ik in Tanger ging, weet je nog dat ik naar Tanger ging? Dat ik tegen jou zei dat ik in mijn hotel was. Toen zei je tegen mij van, toen zei ik, heb je met hem afgesproken? Ik zeg nee. Toen zei hij tegen mij, ja, ga maar niet naar zijn huis. Weet je wel, als je dat tegen mij zei, van ga niet naar zijn huis?
Ja?
Ja, precies. En toen zei ik, tuurlijk ga ik niet naar zijn huis. Toen had ik dus met hem afgesproken. In Nederland is ik meteen naar jou gekomen. Ze hebben me zelfs een boete gegeven, de politie, dat ik daar stond.
I continue now the conversation.
Ze hebben iemand gebeld en ze zeggen dat ik daar stond te wachten. Ik zeg, ik sta op een vriendin te wachten. Latifa. Ja, wie is...
Dat doet niemand. gebeld? Waarom?
Nee, de politie is gekomen. Kijk, ik dacht dat jij daar woont, dus ik was daar aan het wachten. En toen zeiden ze van, gingen ze mij vragen stellen waarom gedaan. Toen zei ik een vriendin van mij, Latifa, dat jij daarvoor woonde en dat ik jouw nummer niet meer had. Toen zei ze, waarom bel je haar niet? Ik zeg, je hebt haar nummer niet. En ik bleef daar dus wachten.
Heb je dat 3 keer lopen schreeuwen dan? Of zo?
Nee, niet lopen schreeuwen, maar zij vonden het gewoon verdacht. Want ik heb bij de verkeerde mensen aangebeld. Toen zei ze, hoe ben je binnengekomen? Ik zeg, iemand heeft voor mij open gedaan. Snap je? Ik zeg, iemand heeft voor mij open gedaan. En toen zei ze tegen me van, toen zei ze van, ja, je mag hier niet staan of zo, onbevoegd of zo. Ik zeg, ja, dan ga ik wel beneden staan bij de deur. Toen ben ik nog vis gaan eten, weet je wel.
Oh, je bent naar de parkeergarage beneden gaan parkeren, zeker?
Nee, ik stond...
She asked me if I parked downstairs, simply because she knew I was with a bike. Because she knew I went to the Somali woman with a bike and I parked with a bike. She knew this, but still she asked the question if I parked down because she wants to know where I have put in my car, because she know I went with the bike and that I did not park my car in the mosque and then I did not park a car by the Somali. So this is scared how false she is. If someone is telling me that nothing about a car or a bike, why would I ask if she parked down? If I knew that someone came with a bike and said, I would say the truth. If I'm speaking the truth all the time, I would say, oh, okay, did you park your bike in front? And then I would say, yes, I came with the bike. How you know it? And then you can say, yes, because the Somali woman told me that you came with the bike. But this is how you know how false they are, because she knew I came with the bike. Because when the Somali woman said I went to her, she said to her the time and how I went. She came to me at 11 with a bike. So this is how you know that she is so false and dangerous as well, that you cannot believe and trust this kind of people.
En ik was gewoon ik stond buiten gewoon. Ik stond gewoon voor de deur. Maar ik stond, omdat het koud was, stond ik bij de portiek. En toen kwamen diezelfde mensen waarbij ik had aangebeld, want ik dacht dat het jouw buren was, om te vragen van, ja, of jij dan nog woonde. Toen kwamen ze naar beneden en zeiden ze, ben je hier nog steeds? Ze zeggen, je mag hier niet. Ik zeg, ja, ik wacht op een vriendin. Nee, zij woont daar niet, zeiden ze. Ik zeg, ja, Latifa, Marokkaans meisje. Nee, dat wonen Nederlanders. Toen hadden ze mij, ik denk omdat ik een petje droeg, vonden ze denk ik mij vandaag, hebben ze de politie gebeld. Dus de politie gekomen. Ik dacht eerst van, de politie komt niet, weet je wel. Ik denk, hun zijn gewoon een grapje aan het maken. Dus de politie gekomen, bij ingenieur Kalstraat was dat. Dus de politie gekomen. Toen zeiden ze van, iemand heeft melding gedaan dat je hier staat. Ik zeg, klopt, ik sta aan de hal. Omdat ik denk, misschien komt een vriendin van mij die ik heel lang, omdat ik ben bij haar moeder geweest en zij woont daar niet meer. En ik moet haar spreken dringend. En ja, ik weet niet waar zij is. En in de moskee komt zij ook niet meer. En ja, ik ben dus hier gekomen, weet je wel. Toen hebben ze mij boete gegeven van €95. Ik heb ook aangifte gedaan tegen de politie voor discriminatie. Want iedereen die ze zien als buitenlander, die zien ze als een crimineel. Dus ik heb aangifte gedaan want de reden waarom ze mij boete hebben gegeven, want ze vroegen, waar woont jouw vriendin? Ik zeg, ja, zij woont op nummer 241. Want ik dacht dat jij daar woonde, bij de eerste balkon. Ingenieur Kalstraat. En toen zei ze, ja, ik zeg, ja, jij woont zij, want ik ben ook bij haar geweest en ik heb nog haar balkon gezien. En ik weet nou niet waar zij is, zei ik tegen hen. En haar moeder is ook verhuisd. Ik weet nou niet waar zij zijn, weet je wel. Dat is wat ik zei. Maar die politieagent, omdat ik buitenlander ben, ging mij meteen verdacht aanzien.
And I'm telling her about the story that I was looking for her and that the police came because I was standing there. And she even did not remember that she told me about where she lived, because she said, no, I never told you where I lived. I only pointed out far. This is what this declares why probably she was also so isolated. No one saw her on the street. You understand? And even the Somali woman, when I asked her if she was living still at the same address and where she was living, she did not want to give me an answer. You understand? So if you have nothing to hide, and if someone comes to look for you in a mosque, you can just be normal. You have nothing to hide. But this is how you know that when you catch people, they start to run and to become afraid.
En toen misschien per ongeluk van gewist heb. Maar dan moet je mij toch geen boete geven. Ik doe toch niks verkeerds. Er zijn zoveel mensen die gewoon toevallig iemand komen zoeken en bij een hal gaan wachten. Of wat is het verschil of ik nou buiten wacht, een half uur of binnen? Weet je, wat is nou het verschil? Het is maar 1 meter, snap je? Ik heb daar nou ook aangifte van gedaan. Dus het zou fijn zijn, als jij misschien wil, als het zover is, dat ik dan ook, dat om die boete terug te draaien van 95 euro, weet je, dat bevestigt inderdaad dat ik, dat ik daar niet aan hun denken dat ik nou een crimineel ben, dat ik daar gewoon een beetje aan het rond, hun geloven niet dat ik naar jou op zoek was.
Je bent heel ergens anders gegaan.
Nee, ik ben naar ingenieur Kalstraat gegaan.
Ja.
Bij die flatgebouw, ingenieur Kalstraat 241, daar ben ik gegaan. Weet je, bij die grote balkonnen. Hè?
Ik woon niet helemaal.
Ja, dat weet ik toch niet, maar je woont dan kennelijk wel in dat blok, maar dat wist ik toch niet. Het is heel lang geleden. Maar dat maakt niet uit. Ik heb aangifte gedaan, ik heb ook een klacht ingediend. Als het zover is, dan ga ik ook gewoon bevestigen dat ik niet aan het liegen ben. Dat ik echt daar was voor jou, weet je wel. Want ik wil niet dat ze mij die boete nu gaan geven. Dat ze denken van, ja, ze hebben gecheckt en ze hebben gezien dat jij daar niet woont. Dus, en dan zeg je, je bent aan het liegen, want ik woon in Nederland. Ik zeg, nee, een Marokkaanse vriendin van mij. Volgens mij woont zij daar. Nee, je bent aan het liegen, je bent aan het hangen. Ik zeg, ben ik aan het hangen? Ik zeg, ik zit hier een half uur te wachten. Ja, je mag niet in portieks hangen, zeggen ze tegen mij. Je krijgt nu een boete van 95 euro en 9 euro administratiekosten. Dus ik nog helemaal naar het politiebureau gegaan, receptie gesproken, receptie mij gelijk gegeven. Maar die politievrouw, die kan binnenlopen, ze was echt een bitch. Ik zeg, waarom doe je dat? Ik zeg, zie ik eruit als een zwijver of zo?
Als zij mij gaan bellen, gaan ze ook zeggen, ja, ik wil al jouw gegevens weten. En dat wil ik ook weer niet, hè. Dat ze mij...
So I said to her, like, maybe the police will call you about this issue because I made a claim against him. And she said, yeah, but I don't want them to know my address. They can call me, but I don't want them to know my address. Because, of course, she thinks I don't know her address because she don't want me to know her address.
Daar ook als zwart schrijven.
Nee, maar kijk, de politie gaat mij gewoon bellen, want als ze die boete gaan uitschrijven, want ik heb nu een klacht ingediend, dan ga ik gewoon nog even vertellen van, ja, ik heb een vriendin van mij.
They say, I don't want you to put me on a blacklist or something. And the same said this Samira when I went to her house, when I started telling her, are you with the Freemasons? She said, I don't want to speak about this subject. And she said, I don't want to speak on, if you want to come, sleep and eat, you're welcome. I don't want the police here in front of the door. So it's very, very strange, all very strange.
Ik heb uiteindelijk die vriendin van mij gesproken, snap je? En nu weet ik, nu weet ik dat ze nog, ik heb haar dus gesproken, want die moeder die woonde niet meer op de huis. Dus ik was, weet je, dat ze gewoon spraak, want ik was niet daar.
Ik kan wel praten van jou, maar ze hoeft niet weten waar ik woon.
Ja, nee, dat hoeft ook niet. Maar ik bedoel, want ze hebben mij een boete gegeven dat ik aan het hangen was. Ik bedoel, er zijn allemaal jongeren die altijd in portieks hangen en zo, weet je wel? Van die drugs en jointjes roken en zo. Nee, maar ik bedoel...
Ik moet nou echt gaan, want er waren niet handtast, hè? Ik heb je op straf voor gevecht. Ik moet echt gaan nu.
Oh,
Het is al 4 uur en de straks die kantoor dicht waar ik moet zijn.
Oké, Safi, ja, dat is goed. Dat is goed.
Ja?
Oké.
Ja, laat het.
Assalamu alaikum.
So then she said, when I start to speak about that, this police, and that this, it was strange that they came because I was just waiting there outside, and that I understand that they come when there are like people waiting that are, sometimes you see people at the street waiting that are drugs related or something, or using drugs and hiding someplace. But it's strange because I was just a visitor and I was waiting. I was dressed normal, I was waiting normal. So this is how you see how phobies Dutch people are, And anyway, there are many, how can I say, there are many signs that let you see that. The question is, what are the things to believe someone or not to believe someone, This is the first question you need to ask yourself. How can you believe someone and how you cannot believe someone? Because we don't want to live in a world when everyone becomes phobies against each other. You understand? I mean, we have many experience in life, but it doesn't mean that we need to carry with us constantly our experience with us. You know, a human being is healthy when it can continue life and forget the things by giving new people new chances. I understand that with the people that you know that you cannot continue on the same path, but with new people you need to give always a chance, and that is healthy. You cannot live for peace in life. You cannot, you know. If you are as yourself a person that is not to trust, yes, you will see people also like that, and probably most of the time nothing will happen to you because you will constantly think and walk like that. But if you're not like that, you are completely coming from a different perspective, you know. So you will not see those people. You will not pick those people out. And this is the whole problem. And if this is not your nature, you cannot become someone that is not your nature. You cannot become someone that is not your nature. So you cannot become like that if you want to live normal, if that's not your nature. So you will constantly stay in that process. So then you need to change, probably, you know. You need to change. You need to cut things off. You need to probably not live in nature anymore or alone, you know. But the fact is, you cannot live a full peace life. You cannot see everyone like that. So the question is now, so what are the, how do we judge a situation like that? Objective, you know, objective and not subjective, you know. What are the grounds for it? Well, the grounds are actually people that are always speaking about something in truth, that they never reject giving an answer or a contradiction. The most important thing when you're speaking the truth, you don't give a contradiction. The story is going in a very, very natural line, like you are watching a movie. Because the person, when it's telling about something, it's going all automatically from the head. But when people are hiding parts, then the story does not anymore fits in each other, and that will give a contradiction. This A can mean that the person has something to do with something, or it means the person has not something to do with something but is not completely telling the truth, like hiding some things. For example, your mother is asking you, where did you go? You tell her, I went to the supermarket, because you did not want to tell her that you went to your boyfriend. But this, you passed the supermarket, you did buy something at the supermarket, but you didn't tell her what you did before. So it can only be those of two, you know, like someone is speaking the truth, someone is not speaking the truth, and someone is speaking the truth, or someone is speaking the truth but hiding things, you know. So the thing is, then the most strange thing is that, hi, how are you, who are you, and then Shadia, and then she knows my name, there's only one Shadia, and then they say, who? Oh, hi, everything's okay. And then she say, welcome, Al Atlantic. Oh, welcome. You know, she react like she don't know anything about what happened. And suddenly she say, how did you get my number? On a very different tone. And another point is that I told her, I thought you were in, that you left Spain. She said, no, for that you need to be stable. You know? Stable, you know. And you? I thought you left Spain because you told me you probably would immigrate. No, she said, for that you need to be stable. Huh? And you? Samira, when I went to her at the door, the woman that's spoken about, she told me by the door, like, you can come and eat and sleep with me when I start speaking about Freemasonry. She said, don't bring the police here to me. And someone is not just saying, come sleep and eat in my house. You understand? She's also the one that locked me to her house to give her advice about applying for a Dutch passport. And my passport expired and I'm now putting a new one. So, when I was speaking about Freemasonry, she knew what I was speaking about. And then the other sign is that this woman that I met in the mosque that I know from before, this woman and her daughter, when they came to me, started to hug me. And the third one, the short one also. And where did you went? Blah, blah, blah. And then suddenly I said, how are you? Are you seeing Latifa? Did she still come here? No, she don't come here anymore for 3 years. And then when we wanted to walk outside, she started saying that I was a very good lawyer. Well, outside, I told her why I was looking for her. And then suddenly I say, probably they're in a Masonic group. They say that they pretend to be peace. Well, it's a lie. And then this woman said, well, if that's about, then we're all going to become Masonic. I don't like that joke, of course. And then we walked outside. And then I said, she sent this man behind me for bad reasons, you know. And then she looked at my face. She said she saw that she has a pretty face, so they want to make of her a prostitute. So all these things that they say are actually in common with each other. Because this Osama, when he met me in Morocco, this is also what Latifa said, like, don't go to his house. And I was never had the plan to meet with him. I went on vacation. She said, did you spoke with him? I said, no, don't go to his house. This is what she said. Why would she warn me something about it? She never before warned me about anything about that. You understand? And of course, I did not tell her in the beginning I was in Spain because I needed time. And after a while, I decided to tell her. But not immediately. I had no contact with her. I had her number. But I had no contact with her because when I was in Holland, I had the idea, a very strange idea about them. About I could not get a high from them, you know. It was like they had a borderline. Sometimes they were having a good mood. Sometimes they were not having a good mood, you know. And I needed to focus on some things, you know. And I didn't want to go anymore there to that mosque, you know. It was enough. And but I had contact with this Saida, but also not that much. And so I made I so that's it. And so it's very strange that they say all these things, because you don't say these things without any without knowing anything, you know. It cannot be coincidence that they say these things just I mean, when someone speaks with me and I say something with a meaning. I don't say like chocolate if I don't. So why I say chocolate? I don't use the word prostitute or beautiful face without knowing why I'm using it. And then she said, watch out that I don't come behind you. Watch out that I don't come behind. So this woman knows what she's speaking about Masonic group. And this is also my experience with this Osama. What happens in Tanja, and what Latifa said, and later when he came to Spain, that's when I had the dinner, and after the next day when he asked me to go park his car in the same streets, and then he tried to lock me to his hotel. Oh, I need something. I forgot something upstairs. I said, I'll wait for you outside. No, you can just wait for me by the hall. I said, I don't need to wait for the hall. No, just wait. And then I waited by the hall, and then he said, I'm going upstairs. You can, if you want, you can wait me upstairs. I said, no, I'm not going upstairs. So this is how you see how dangerous they are and false and misleading. I don't know really what their religion is. And the other sign is when I went with his wife to Rabat, you know, that she had on the room for the guests, there was a slip on the bed and it really was dirty, you know. And the first thing she did when she went to her house, starting cleaning. Well, the first thing what I saw when I entered the house was a dirty slip on the guest in the guest room. It means that she's not that clean, you understand? But the first thing she wanted to do is to clean the whole house. And when I entered the house, the first thing I heard was Quran. Like they put it 24 hours to keep jinns away or something, I don't know. This is also what the people told me about this wife and this Osama. She said to me that they're coming from something, you know, and that he saw her before in Spain and she was not wearing a headscarf and that she's not really his wife. This is what they told me. But they gave me hints, but I did not really believe them because I did not really understand what they actually were speaking about. And also the fact that they came to the shopping mall pretending to lose their bag on the day that I had the job. And remember who sent me a message on that day? A Saudi boy from Saudi Arabia that came to me in 2016 when I was working with the Israelis. And he came to me inside the store and he said to me, Did you see the prince driving here with his car? I said, which prince? And then he said to me, are you coming to Mecca? And then I said, I ignored him. He said, where do you live? And I said where I was living. And then I said to him, do you like these things to buy? And he said to me, if my sister would come, she would buy everything. And then he left. And then that day, when I had the new job, he sent me a message that he had a new job. But it was irony because I had a job. And of course they knew that I had a job. They made of me a project together. So this is how I know, you know. This is how I know that it's all linked with each other. Another thing is that what you say is in the conversation, this Osama told me about this Yamina, that she was divorced and that she asked him if she can stay in the house next to him. But it was a lie. She did not tell him that she really was looking for a house. She also did not ask him about the house because she wanted to know if I was in that house. No. Yamina and Latifa, they know in details everything about me because he was telling them all the time everything. So Yamina did not tell him anything about a house. He told me that she was divorced and that she asked him if she can live in the house next to him. But it was a lie. He just told me that because he wants to show me that he's very important, that people wants to be in her house and that he don't want them to be in his house. Because he already had the plan when he came again the second time to look for me, again in a shopping mall, that he would ask me if I want to go with his wife to Morocco. They planned it. And they knew I'm a kind person and helpful and that I probably would go with her. I have nothing to do to assist her. So when she arrived, she started to cleaning the house, whereas she's not a clean person. Why would someone clean the house in every details? Why? No food, no breakfast, no lunch, only cleaning the house. And in the evening, she paid for me the food just because my card was not working in that country. And it was not a good thing to do. So it means they were not really interested in putting even €1 on the table. But they did wanted to stay next to me, you know, to live next to me. And it was, of course, irony, you know, that they wanted to come live next to me. You understand? Then another point is that he said that they suggested to him a young girl of 15 years to marry him, and that he rejected because he wanted to show off that he's a good man that don't marry young girls. So he wanted to show that he's a good person. Another thing is that they said from the beginning that he's a Saudi, because yes, he's a Saudi, but now they're denying it because they don't want that Saudi Arabia has any involvement, so they want to hide his nationality. Another thing is that she's telling me in the conversation that he asked for my number and that she called those number and they were not working. Well, it's a lie. The last time I had a fight with her, so why would she ask for my numbers? And second, he met me again, so why did he not call me the moment that I was with his and his wife? Then he could call her and say, I have found her. You can speak now in live together with her. So it's a lie. She knew all details about me, but she was not interested in speaking with me because we were having a fight. So it's a lie that she said that she asked for something. And she also said herself that she said, I know that you had not contact with him, but I did not know if you were seeing him. And that's true, because I had not contact with him, but I did see them. Not because I wanted, but because it was coincidence. 2 times they came to the shopping mall, pretending that it was coincidence. So she knows very well the details. Then she say, when I say that Morocco and Saudi Arabia is looking for him, that she say that she knows about the problems. But she says she knows about the problems because she wants to cover up that Morocco or Saudi Arabia would have any link with him. Because this is what they agreed about finally when I called him and found out and said to him if he was working as a minister, and probably he received some news from Saudi Arabia. So he said continue playing the game that they had some problems, that he probably had no link with Morocco or Saudi Arabia. But then we were in the conversation, and when I was trying to speak bad about him and that he was not coming into Saudi Arabia in Morocco because Moroccan police was looking for him, then she was trying to defend herself because I said, you know, a criminal. You proposed, you let me meet a criminal. So where did you meet this criminal? So because I was making him like a heavy criminal, suddenly she's trying to say that he was just going visiting Morocco. While in the beginning of the conversation, she said, I know about the problems when I said he cannot go to Morocco and Saudi because they're looking for him. So this is another lie. So it means that he just can go to Morocco and he just can go to Saudi Arabia without any problem. This is why the Moroccan government's police was in Spain behind me, because I know when people are walking behind you. And I know who came to me and who asked me to go to Morocco, and then a real estate company came to me. So they tried to lock me there. You understand? And the same about Saudi Arabia, that a few persons came to me. I also wrote about that. One Saudi in June, woman and her husband. And then this Osama, of course. And another woman also when I was in McDonald's waiting. It was Ramadan, I was not eating and waiting, and it came another Saudi woman. She ordered a hamburger, not halal, started to eat. And then she was acting like, I said, who are you? She said, Maya. And she putting her head down like she was a princess or something. Eating a hamburger on Ramadan, not halal. Anyway, and then, so it means that are all Masuniyin, you know, because Masuniyin don't care even about what they eat. Well, even Jews, Lihud, now, the good ones, you know, they even eat kosher. And now you find Muslims that are in a Masonic group that started not to eat halal, that just eat in hamburgers. Well, Lihud, the good ones, still are keeping on the old traditions. You understand? So this is it. And then she said, I have my own life, I have my own life, She means me, because I am the one that disappeared because I was having my own life. And they, of course, did not really like it that I disappeared. How can a person that gets so many attention in a mosque finally disappear? This person you need to find and follow. And this Saida from the mosque that has no cancer, she knew that I was in Spain. She probably told them. Another point is that she said, they said, now, I have when I said to her, I looked for you, I could not find you. Said to me, who could you find you all that time? It means like I disappeared. So the accent is on that I disappeared, that I have my own life, and that I found them probably not interesting. So this is maybe the motif. Because when I was with them, yes, they did test me sometimes, I told you before, but they could not go too far, you understand? Because I was with them, so it was okay, like I was a friend. You don't need to hurt a friend. But when you disappear and you have your own life, then you become an enemy, And this is the whole motif. And then you held next me to Macab. Every time I start to speak about Freemasons, she said that she needs to go, that she's busy, that she's having. And when I start to ask her questions, if she's with the organization, she said, you're not a lawyer. I'm not under your questions. I'm not under you. When I ask her about her profile picture, when I ask her with the Palestinian boy and Palestinian, then she avoid the question. Why? When I ask her about the Palestinian friend that she had before, she said that she don't have contact with it. Then, because I ask for Yamina and I ask for her, so Yamina is afraid and she's trying to cover up herself. So she tell her that she needs to tell me she has nothing to do with it. So she's trying to cover up Yamina. That Yamina said that no, they told me that you want problems with me, and for Yamina you had only questions and you had problems with me. I said, yes, I have questions for Yamina and I have questions for you. This is what I said. But with the way that she asked the questions, you have questions for Amina and you say you want problem with me. She just wants to make sure to keep her friend out of this, because then otherwise she will have more problems if she involves Yamina in this whole thing. And then later she's trying to find out if I'm still want to make problems with her. She said, you say that you want to have problems with me. Because she wants to make sure that she can get herself out of this situation that she has brought herself in by sending this person behind me. So another fact is that she's trying to bactalize a thing, that she say, I have given you his number, but you are adultive. Because when she go to the mosque, if someone asks her something, she can have a reason like, oh, I have nothing to do with it. She's adult. She's an adult, but she knows that she's not trying to tell lies. But she knows very well from the first moment that I told her I'm not interested. She said that she has knowledge about Quran. I said, okay, but as a fact, she sent actually a magician behind me. She sent a magician behind me. This is what she has done actually, nothing less or more. And she know from the first beginning I had no interest. And she said she was a Saudi, and then suddenly she denies that she's not a Saudi, because of course they don't want me to think that he's a Saudi national. and that have any link to Saudi Arabia, you know, so that he can say that I cannot understand this whole thing that is happening. But I already understand this whole thing that is now happening. She said that she don't know anything about his background and everything, that he don't know that he's married, but it's a lie, because before she said, I know that you did not have contact with him, but I did not know if you were seeing him, because she know that I saw him by coincidence and his wife. And it's a lie that she don't know that he's married, because she cannot say that he's married, because she know that it's a slave. It's a biblical relation slave. And then when I said that I want to thank her, I said it before. I don't need to say now. Another thing is that she said that she don't want to have nothing to do with it, and if I use her name, then she will see. She's threatening a little bit, and then I'm very clear. I say, I have questions. Are you part of the organization? Another thing is that I say that the jinns, the spirits, are getting used by the magician to bring them information. And then she say that Gabrielle also brought information to prophets. She made a very strange comparison that is normally only related to Masonic religion, because they teach them that the angels can bring information as well. Well, it's not the truth. Angels don't bring information to normal people. They can help you, or God can give you a vision directly, but they cannot go to people and bring messages. Impossible directly only to a prophet, and they're not coming any prophet after. So probably she used this argument about Jabril because she knows something about me. It means that's why it's also a fact that she's in a Masonic group, because she knows the things about me. And this other imam that I went to, that is living in front of this Somali woman from the other mosque, he also started to speak about Jibril at the time, and he even had no respect to me. When I was speaking with his wife, he as I said before, he wanted to cut the subject, and he told me, I said, maybe I have something with, because I dreamed about a snake. He said, no, it's nothing. You just can put the verses in your hand and put them over your body, because he know that I'm doing it, because that is what has protected me. You understand? So I'm just confused that this whole people are satanic, and while their children are very kind and nice, but then you can meet a father or a friend that is not like that. So it means Satan catch who he wants to catch. You understand? So because they don't speak the truth. You understand? They don't speak the truth. When you don't speak the truth, it means that you're Satan. Because why you would not speak the truth? You can't just say the truth, because if you have nothing to hide, you can just put everything on table. And these people having secrets, and they cannot put everything on table. So these are actually the most important things. And someone that's, when she do it means that she agrees with something. And she also debactalizes things. She said when someone propose her to some man, she also don't make a problem of it if she knows things. If it knows, for example, she's a criminal or something. It happens many times to her. I said, I'm sorry, it's not like that. And the first moment I said to you I was not interested, he just had my number for if I had questions about religion and Quran. So you're just not gonna bactalize the things and say to people that I had for those reasons contact with him, because I even did not have contact with him. Then she's trying to, when I start to sell that he's a part of the Freemason later, she said I would, and that they were looking for him, the governments. I said I would distance myself from this. So she said that like she wanted to make me afraid so I can stop investigating this. You understand? So this is the whole thing. What can I say about it? Mostly she's very angry that I went to the mosque and that I asked for her because it put her on the spotlight. And that's why she said at the end next to me, next time you can just come look for me, because because she's afraid that I would do it again if I have more questions, of if I found out about something. When I hanged up, I spoke about that Osama, and that conversation with him also conclude that they're both related to this. When I called him, he denied working for Saudi Arabia, and he still said that he could not enter Morocco. So it means when he lies, that is the opposite. So he denied working for Saudi Arabia, and he asked me what's my name, and I lied. I said only one name, and I have all the names. And so he just wanted to test me if I have all information. And then he changed his profile. He deleted one name, last name, and kept only one name, so that he thought I could not find him again, because probably it's very important that he has a LinkedIn page or something like that. They even don't have anymore, I think, a LinkedIn. Then another thing is that he denied having any link with Australia. He denied having a passport in Australia, because he said to me that he has a passport from Australia. He said that to me before, Australian and Saudi passports. But he said to me before that the Australian passport was written wrong, and that was the reason why he could not stay in Morocco. But suddenly in the conversation he denied any link. He said that he don't have an Australian passport, like he wanted to hide it so that that no one knows about it, so that he can do with it what he wants. And it's a lie, he has it. And then I said to him, you can hear the conversation, how can someone that has children and a wife in Australia not have a study? So he lies about it. He lies about that he worked for Saudi Arabia. He lies about that he has an Australian passport, so that people cannot investigate him and see if it's a false one. He lies about, he say that he cannot enter Morocco. Well, he can enter Morocco, but because he need to say that he cannot enter Morocco to show me that he has no link with it. And of course, they used this lie because they hoped I would stay in the house next to them. I don't know what their plan exactly was with me. Probably they want to kidnap me and bring me to some place. And at the end of the conversation, he said that he was not a Saudi, that he was an Egyptian, and that he was a Tunisian, and that he had two marriages, one in Tunisian and one in Egypt. And then I start asking questions about this wife of him in Saudi Arabia, about this baby, if he was seeing this baby in Saudi Arabia. He said to me no, because he cannot enter it because he has no visa. But he lies because he works there, And then I said to him, how is your mother that is living in Saudi Arabia? And he was not answering. I said, because your mother is living in Saudi Arabia, because you remember you called her and start complaining about the taxes of Saudi Arabia. Why would he say something like that, Why would he call her and complain about the taxes in Saudi Arabia, I mean, wanted me to think bad about the Saudi people, you know? I don't think so. I don't think he just wanted to complain about the taxes because he knew something about my taxes. You understand? And then why this Visa cards? Why he was yelling to his wife and give me back my Visa cards? He wanted me maybe to think bad about him. These Saudis are so cheap, you know, like that, or whatever. Maybe I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so because he said to me by the table before that Latifa and her friend proposed to him a girl for 15 years old and that he rejected it because she was too young. So he tried to make impression on me with his wife that he was a good person that don't marry young girls. So if he wants to give a bad image, he would do it, by example, with that. But he did not give a bad image, but he was speaking bad about the taxes, you know, about taxes in Saudi Arabia. And later he proposed me to marry a friend of him that was living in Spain. So she really wanted to marry me or to keep me close in contact. You understand? But the fact is that he's working for Saudi Arabia. That is 100% sure he's coming from that country. The only reason why he was speaking bad about the taxes is just because he know that I had some taxes. But it's not reason enough to say that he has no link with Saudi Arabia because there are too many facts that are showing up that way. And now he wants to pretend that he has no any link with that country, that he cannot travel to that country, that he needs a visa, so that they can stay out of, so that I cannot understand their organization. He's from London. He's from they know him in London. He has a profile in business in London. He has a profile in business in Morocco. He has a profile in business in Saudi Arabia. So London knows about him, Saudi Arabia knows about him, Australia knows about him. He was assistant professor. So it means they're all in the same world order. They're all in the same Masonic group. London, Saudi Arabia, Australia, Morocco, all. You know? But of course, they don't want me to know the truth, you know? They don't want me to know the truth. This is the whole problem, you know? This is why Latifa said Gabrielle also can give information. Because they think Gabrielle comes to me and give me information. But this information is coming from my forehead and anyone can put it there, you know? So it's very strange when you listen to that conversation with him. You would say like, why would someone deny and lie? And I recorded him before that when he said he was a deputy minister, and now suddenly he's denying it, and he even changed in his profile from deputy to consultant because probably deputy was too heavy. And he asked me what was his last name, and I said only one part of the last name. So he said to me if I know the other one. I said no. So then he changed his profile to the last name that I did not have. Because of course it's very important to keep your profile online. That's so smart. They're not that smart. I mean, he said that he's an informatica specialist. Well, is he informatica specialist? He would have covered him up better in the internet because I found everything about him. So it's a fact that he's coming from the Saudi regime. And it's a fact that he's also a symposant of Tel Aviv. That's also a fact. There's no doubt about it. And at the end, when I said to him, I know you're in London, they know you're in London, he starts saying to me, are you crazy? Wake up. You need a doctor. You're all making up things. You're all making up things. Why should I make up things? I mean, it's written on the internet what you do. No, but that was in the past. I mean, they're such good liars and they're even bad. I mean, you can such catch them so easy, you know. And he was unprepared, of course. So they're liars. And he, wake up. I'm in Egypt now. I'm working as a consultant in Egypt. Are you gonna come to me? Are you gonna book a ticket? Can I ask you something? Do you love me? If you love me, it means he wants to sleep with me. So now we're back to the subject where we were before, when Latifa sent him, and when I was in Tanja, she said to me, don't go to his house. And remember when I next day met him, when he was fasting, he even passed his house and pointed at all the houses that he bought for his family, like, this is my houses. Like he thought that I would go live in those houses so that he can get me out of where I was. Or I don't know what they had, what the plan that they had, you know. So anyway, this is it. I cannot make any other conclusion. Listen up yourself, and then you will know. He don't want me to know that he's coming from Saudi Arabia. He also don't want me to know that he's welcome in Morocco. And then he say that he's in Egypt and working as a consultant. Because of course he cannot say that he's in Saudi Arabia. Because he don't want me to think that he's in London. But London and Saudi Arabia work together, so he's their friend, you know. And of course they don't want me to know that he said, oh, I cannot go to Tunis because my father had problem with the governments there, you know. But it's a lie. When he says something, it means it's the opposite. It means that he can go to Tunis, you know. So probably now he will go from London to Tunis. Or probably he will go to Morocco, you know. Because when he said that he's not welcome in Morocco, it means the opposite. And why would his wife... Because when I met them to go to with his wife to Morocco, when he said that he could not go, his wife needed to go in Algeria to a consulate, translate. They need to fix some documents so that she can put everything on her name in Morocco, so that she can arrange the things. Because he could not go back to Morocco. But why would she do that? Because he wanted to stay out of the sight. And the first thing that she did when she arrived, when the Quran music was on, she started to clean the whole house. Like, why would they put all the time the Quran music on? For what are they afraid? Why are they afraid that something would follow them or what? You know, it's strange. And then she starts cleaning the whole house in details. And he wants her to put everything out of his name. And then she called a friend and her friends. Just now I'm like a single woman. Probably she was preparing, and she said that she would these days preparing something in the house, that her friends would come or something, you know. So I don't know what their plan was there, you know, actually, because I don't know, but I don't think it was a very good plan. And then she said to me that I can stay in the house next door. Yes, because I did the furniture of that house, you know. It's very strange, really. I don't know what their motive is, to be honest. Because when I was also in Marbella, a Moroccan woman came to me. They sent her from Rabat, and they asked me what kind of work I was doing. She almost asked it like she wanted to say, how do you deserve your money? Are you working undercover as a prostitute or something? I mean, it's ridiculous that people ask you these kind of questions. You know, do they really think that every woman that's do these kind of things or what? I don't understand them, and that they come following me and everything. What is the reason? What is the motive? You know, that they do all things. I mean, why they just come to my face and tell me the truth, what's happening and what they're looking for and what they want. Why all this spying and walking behind and sending, and what is the reason for it? If someone has respect for you, he stand in your face and say it. But it seems that it's obvious that they're all Masons and that they all wanted me to be like that. They all wanted me to be like that. They all had no good meaning with me. And this is the dream that has come out. When I closed my eyes, I wanted to fall asleep, and I imagined that God was holding my hand, like so that I can fall asleep while his hands and my hands are together in each other. And then I fall asleep and I dreamed a Turkish woman from long time ago that predicted what is happening today. She said to me, and I think Amina, one woman that was living close to me, I think her name is Amina, but she could also be Jewish because she's from Fas. She brought me to her because she was repairing clothes, but it seems that she was not really repairing clothes. She was reading Coffee Dick. So without my permission, she started to tell me another day that men and women want to play with me. First she said about my father, that he has met a wife in Morocco, etc., and that she has a daughter, but she has no daughter. Probably she saw it wrong. And at that moment he was not yet divorced, my father. And then she said that men and women want to play with me, but I will meet a very big man and become a very big woman, and I will have 2 children and a very long life. And then she said, we are Muslims. But first, before she said men and women want to play with you, she said there's a man that has putting his hand under by his kin, by his chest, and that is thinking about you all the time. So it means that someone is in love with me. That is the reason behind all this. And then she said, men and women want to play with you. And the rest what I said. And at the end she said, we are Muslims. So when I fell asleep, I dreamed that I was in her house. And there was a big sofa. And on this sofa there was a Turkish boy sitting. This Turkish boy that was sitting, he was young with a very white face, but he was representing someone else, Ibrahim. This is a man that also came behind me. And this Turkish man in this dream wanted to steal my bag. And in my bag was my key of the car and the house. So this dream has come out because this Ibrahim was in the dream, this Turkish woman was in the dream, another Bahraini or Saudi man, and a Lebanese woman. And I met in Marbella also a Tunisian woman, that she was also in that same group. So what can I say, The dream has come out, and the dream has showed me that when I asked this Lebanese woman to bring me back home, they did not want to bring me home. This means that they don't want to help you, and and the keys of your car and house, that they steal your bag. You understand? This Ibrahim, that he also did not want any good for me, because they know you're the light, and they want to attack the light. It's because what is in them is coming out of themselves. You understand? Why would they pick you out? For what is the reason? This represents what they are actually are. And then you have this Bahraini or Saudi. It means this Bahraini or Saudi represent what happens in 2017 in Finca in September, when they sent this Saudi also behind me, that also came from the same land of Osama. So it means that it's Saudis and this whole Saudi regime and this Osama, they're all not want any good for me. They don't want any good for me. And then we have this Ibrahim that is from Turkey. It represents the state Turkey that is also Masonic. And then we have this Turkish woman, because at the end of the dream, when I went back to the house, I found out that other people were living in the house. And when I said to them, where is this Turkish woman? She said, she's not living here. They were just renting the house for one day. So it means that they rented the house for one day to play with me, to present something. You understand? And this is also this Turkish woman that predicted my future. Well, it was a lie. You understand? Because they want me to think like that. And probably they want me to go in that Masonic world and to choose a man that is from their world. And this is why the dream finally shows me that she's not living in that house. She was living in that house for one day. So it's all one big lie. And at the end of the dream, I went to another scenario. And there I saw Jesus in front of me. I could see him only from behind. And then I woke up and then I knew the answer. That God has sent, Allah has sent Jesus to me, as a Muslim, of course, And I dreamed about him years before, in 2000 and I think 2012. I dreamed about it. No, I'm sorry, 2014. I dreamed about him, And when I dreamed about him, they said to me that they brought me news in the dream that on the radio there was news that Jesus was on earth. So it means I received first news on the radio in my dream, and years later he was standing in front of me. So God wanted to show me that I'm coming closer to the time. And from then till now, it's like, I think, 8 years. And now he's standing in front of me. So how long it will take now, This is a dream that he's standing in front of me. I can see him from behind. So he only needs to turn his face. The other time was from the radio. It was 8 years. And now he's in front of me. So he's very close. You understand? So this is the dream that God has predicted to me, that they're all the Antichrist. The Antichrist is not only a Yehudi or a Muslim or a Christian, They are in one group and they say that they're Masons and they test and they mislead and they lie. I don't know how people can be like this, to be honest. Really. How can people be like this? Imagine now, Mecca, Medina. My dream has come true because I dreamed about Al-Quds. I dreamed about Al-Quds. That they were all, or Mecca, I think it was Al-Quds. Yes, it was Al-Quds. That they were all sitting inside Al-Quds drinking alcohol and not praying. And the Muslims were not standing up and doing anything. And the Askar was standing outside. In my dream, I was afraid for it, and it has become true. Because we have letting people rule about us that are appointed by the kuffar. So it means that they will always not rule themselves, and we will not rule them. You understand? And I'm quite in shock, about this Osama, because he really is coming from the Saudi government. He's really coming from them. 100,000%. I'm in shock. This means that they're Masonic, and they also were playing with me. You understand? And this latifa that is going to the mosque and everything. So to which level you can trust people, you know? And then they came to me and hit me and at my work. And this Israelis also, that they said if I needed a very good lawyer. And this woman from the mosque last week also that started to speak about a lawyer. And this latifa that they say that I'm not a lawyer. So it means that they're all in one group, or they may be all lihud. So who's later the one that will stand in a mosque and predict Islam? It will be a Muslim or a lihudi. It's the moment that I realize myself that they're really living in a dangerous world. Especially when you heard this Osama speaking, he say, "You're crazy, you're making things up." Well, I have all proof that he's working for that Saudi government, and he denies any involvement, that it was a long time ago that he was there. Because of course they don't want me to know the truth. But I already know the truth, what they did, and who they sent, and what they know. And I don't care, because I told them everything. I know everything. What they did, their magic, their games. And I'm the lucky one, you know? But it's not a problem, you know? It was a test not for me, but for them, you know? And that is the most important thing to know. So they cannot confuse me, not Latifa, not Osama. Osama is coming from the Saudi government and from the Masonic world. And Latifa knows him, so she has a link. It doesn't matter what she say, how she denies. Of course she needs to cover herself up. And then this other woman from the mosque. So I'm now doubting if it has sense to go to the mosque, because why are you going to the mosque, for Muslimin or for Lihud? It's better to stay home, or maybe even to have kafirs as friends, that are even not involved in this Masonic world. So this is it, and I have nothing else to add on it. Listen up yourself, and you will know. He also asked me where I will go. The able want to know that. Very funny, don't you think? It's something that they have underestimated, because I cannot be killed.